And now we have Mr. Gurucharan, author and economist, joining us live from New Delhi to help us understand what all of this means. Mr. Gurucharan, as always, a pleasure having you here on Wion World is One. I'm going to start off by asking about the World Bank report, because in that report, India is clearly the silver lining.
Well, it's true that we are the fastest growing major economy in the world, and there has been an improvement. There's a pickup in both consumption and investment, and we are on the rise again. But you know, India, it's not enough to compare ourselves at this point against China. China is slowing down from a very high place. I mean, you can imagine what China has achieved. It's become a middle-class country. If we aspire to become a middle-class country, we have to grow over 8%. And if Mr. Modi wants to bring Achhe Din, and really the rhetoric and fulfill the rhetoric of 2014, which was jobs creation and vikas, then we have to grow above 8%. Right. So really for India, PAR is 8%.
Fair enough. I think you're making a very clear point over there. All numbers put together, the only number we need to look out for as people from India is that are we growing at 8% or more? But having said that, the World Bank report, all this rhetoric that you were telling us, the World Bank seems to be reiterating some of that rhetoric, that the GST is a positive for the Indian economy, demonetization is a positive for the Indian economy.
Yes. Yes. Well, I think GST certainly is a positive. Demonetization will have long-term benefits in terms of having created, we now know where all the money is, and certainly over the long term it will have a benefit in digitizing, formalizing the economy. But the cost of demonetization was too high. It caused just too much pain to too many people, and that was not good. So it was not the right thing to do, and it was badly executed. So I would just say, yes, this government has done a lot of good things. The insolvency bill, the giving health insurance to the whole country, giving cooking gas to the poor. All these are very good things. It's been fiscally prudently managed. Inflation has come down. So there are positives. But Mr. Modi has not delivered the jobs. And that's why he should be, and he is a bit worried now. I mean, this disaster that they have suffered, and the post-disaster was the loan waiver by the governments of Madhya Pradesh. Now, that's the wrong way to go. I think what we would expect Mr. Modi to do is to go back to what he promised. And frankly, the 10% reservation that he's giving is also not the right thing to do. The right thing to do are the solid reforms that the country needs in agriculture and in industry. Keep improving the ease of doing business. That will keep helping and keep improving and really make an effort to build exports. The businesses that are leaving China now should be coming to India.
Right.
They're going to Vietnam, Indonesia.
Right. Help us understand this, but then, report after report from, ratings agencies to World Bank to IMF, so many of them have continually reiterated how impressive India's growth numbers are, despite the fact that the global environment remains extremely uncertain. And that's the reason why we're having this discussion. Report after report, global platforms have praised the structural reforms in India. The future looks bright. In fact, the World Bank says by the year 2030, which is about 11 years from now, India will overtake the economy of the US. How is one supposed to understand all of this in perspective?
Yes. And I think that is correct. The long-term future of India is good. But if we want to enjoy the demographic dividend, that window is going to close in 7-8 years. And we've got to get up to 8% quickly and create the jobs that are needed if we want to harvest the demographic dividend. This is an opportunity. And I think that what I would ask Mr. Modi to do is to go back to his rhetoric and the promises he made in 2014. And if we single-mindedly focus on jobs, I think they'll come. Now, because the basic fundamentals of the Indian economy are excellent.
Yeah, and that's because of the fact that we do have the demographic dividend with us, a huge young population, a huge domestic consumption market, etc., etc. I'm going to ask you one last thing before we let you go, because Mr. Gurucharan, we always talk to you whenever there is one of these big reports out from a global, organization. How are people supposed to view any of these reports coming out in the future about how bright the prospects for the Indian economy is? Are we all supposed to take it with a pinch of salt?
I take it you're asking me about the long-term future.
No, I'm asking about the fact that we
I think it's good.
Yes, the long-term future is good, Mr. Das. I'm asking you about the fact that when a World Bank comes out of the report, it's an extremely positive sign for India. But from what you've been telling us, is it right if I say that going forward, whenever there's a global organization, a ratings agency, or a World Bank coming out of the report praising India, talking about how impressive India's growth numbers are, we have to take it, albeit with a pinch of salt?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I couldn't follow you. I'm missing some. All right. The words. The connection is not so good.
Fair enough. No problem, Mr. Gurucharan Das.
I still maintain I still maintain that the fundamentals of the economy are good. Indian economy will do well. We should stay focused on reforms and creating jobs.
Fair enough. Mr. Gurucharan Das, thank you so much, as always, for taking time out to be with us here for that big story that we're tracking.